This week, beginning the 5th of January, we have some new starts, new beginnings as we embark on the calendar year, and maybe as you're starting back at work, we might get a little bit overconfident and ambitious with those new beginnings, but mostly it's all good. There's a generous and an optimistic atmosphere with it. Let's find out about that in this week and the aspects and transits that I'm going to go through one by one. Hello everybody and welcome to this video. This is a video for the week beginning the 5th of January using Western tropical astrology. I'm going to describe the energies that are affecting all of us around the world in unseen ways, but it will be affecting our feelings and the micro decisions and the larger decisions that we make in our life. So it's good to know what's going on with the energies. All right, I do whole sign Western tropical astrology. I'm based in New Zealand. I make calendars like this one for New Zealand, Aotearoa, and for Australia, but this astrology I'm talking about is for all of the world. So we're going to start by talking about the moon phase that we're in and then go into the transits and aspects one by one through the week. This video will be followed up by a longer video tomorrow in which I do an all signs breakdown about the conjunctions between Venus, Mars and the Sun and the opposition with Jupiter. And so you can wait for that tomorrow to find out what's going on more specifically for your sign. Let's get into it. First of all, a quick mention of the lunar phase that we're in. We had a new moon in the sign of Sagittarius on Friday the 19th, Saturday the 20th of December. So that we're still in the lunar month of Sagittarius. And then the moon was waxing until we reached the full moon in the sign of Cancer, which happens just before or around about when this video comes out. And so now with this week that we're talking about, we are in the waning phase and the moon will be getting smaller and smaller, and then we'll have the last quarter moon, and then we'll be coming towards the new moon in the sign of Capricorn. So even more Capricorn energy on our way and another new beginning in Capricorn. But for now, we're going to talk about Venus and Mars conjunct the Sun. And now looking at this week's aspects and transits one by one. Well, there's just one theme going along here. First of all, we have the Sun conjunct Venus. So this is bringing together the vitality and creative life force and the leadership and entrepreneurial spirit of the Sun with Venus, its sweetness, its diplomacy, ability to negotiate and seek fairness. And also Venus brings in themes of money and resources and possessions and luxury items, as well as beauty. Okay, so there could be some kind of entrepreneurial project that comes out of this where it's a Venusian thing like art, or to do with finances or relationships, some new beginning with relationships. But this is not all. This is not all. We also then straight away have Venus and Mars conjunct, and this is totally bringing together the masculine and the feminine principles. Okay, so the feminine with that seeking of beauty and pleasure and comfort, and masculine, the driving forward, the determination and enthusiasm and active energy and desire, and they both have desire with them. And when I say masculine and feminine, I don't mean to say men and women, because we all have both of them in us. In astrology, everybody has a Venus placement and a Mars placement. So we all have these principles in us, and we need both. We need both of these. Okay. But when they come together, it's like some kind of new beginning, and something could come out of it that's combining both of those together. All right. And then lastly, out of those three conjunctions is the Sun and Mars. And this is a really energetic one. The Sun is full of energy and enthusiasm and activity, and Mars is full of enthusiasm and energy and activity, the need for action. Both of them are going to want to drive forward with something. And with all of these three combining in this way, in this conjunction over that week, that's some really strong new beginning in the Capricorn part of your sky. All right, so just looking at the dates there, the Sun and Venus, they come exact on Tuesday the 6th of January, Wednesday the 7th, but basically they're kind of traveling together the whole week, because Venus and the Sun are, at the moment, are roughly traveling at the same speed. So you can see that will be actually from about the Saturday until the following weekend. So over the whole week that we're under that influence. And then Venus and Mars, that's for 3 days or so between the 6th and the 9th or the 10th of January. And then the Sun and Mars, and that is over, wow, actually even longer. Because I looked it up how long that they're actually within a degree of each other. So between the 5th and the 13th or so of January. So lots of energy with those in that Capricorn part of your sky. They're all personal planets. They're all the inner planets that are close to us on Earth. So Mars and Venus and the Sun, we can see them all, especially the Sun, of course. They're all visible to us, and with their proximity to us on Earth, that means that they, in astrology, that's the personal planets, and that includes Mercury and the Moon. They rule our everyday life, our ordinary things in life, the things that we do on a day-to-day basis. It's not so much, they are related to the big existential questions of life and the meaning of life and who am I, where am I in life, and very, very big, long quests or projects or journeys. They do have to do with those, but mostly in astrology we see that the personal planets like Mars and the Sun and Venus, they are to do with more like our ordinary everyday life and everyday things in life. So these new beginnings, they might not be the big, grand, epic new beginnings that are pushed and driven or reflected in the big aspects between the outer planets, like, for example, the Saturn-Neptune conjunction in late February. That's a huge one. Or when we have even Saturn-Jupiter conjunctions, that's once every 20 years. And other bigger planets that are very unusual. Okay, so these are more like things, we'll have a conjunction between the Sun and Mars and the Sun and Venus every year, and Venus and Mars every year. It's just unusual that they are all together at the same time, so it's a triple conjunction. That is unusual. So there is stronger energy for new beginnings in that Capricorn part of your sky. And then straight after they meet each other, they're going to be one by one going into an opposition with Jupiter. And Jupiter is in the opposite sign from Capricorn, which is Cancer. All right, and this will be at 20 degrees when Venus meets Jupiter. Venus will be at 20 degrees of Capricorn, Jupiter at 20 degrees of Cancer. All right, so with Jupiter, it's going to be expanding things and bringing probably more confidence and optimism and the feeling of wanting to grow and expand and embark on adventures and seek great meaning in things. That's what Jupiter does. With the opposition, we can go too far. And this is a main topic of my video that's coming out tomorrow, in which I do a sign-by-sign breakdown of Jupiter opposite these three planets. The next day, is it the next day? Actually later on the same day, the Sun is opposite Jupiter, and this is one where we can get a little bit carried away with our ego, but there's also great enthusiasm and opportunities could come along. And then Mars. This is one where we can go too far with great big ambitious plans and try to drive too much to overreach. So take care of that. But on the plus side, there's lots of energy and determination, and you might want to ride with that and make the most of that extra energy and drive. And just make sure you don't overdo it and to the detriment of the other parts of your life. So as I said, more about these aspects in my video tomorrow with a sign-by-sign breakdown. Okay, straight after their opposition with Jupiter, the three planets, Venus, the Sun, and Mars, come into a square with Chiron. And this could bring up something that needs to be healed, some part of your healing journey, and any inner child wounds or any illness or injury that's long term, that could be triggered by this. A square is a difficult aspect, and you can work on it though. This is with Chiron, it's a wound or an illness or an injury that goes for a long time. In the case of inner child wounds, something that comes from your deep past, like even while you were a baby and you had no control over it. And maybe your parents were inconsistent with how they treated you, or maybe there was something where you received some shaming experience. We all have these things, and that will be carried with you. It's in your patterning. But when we have a Chiron trigger, it's a good opportunity to work on it. So see what comes up around that time, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th of January. Now, in the calendar, I did not include aspects to Chiron except with the aspects to Jupiter and the conjunctions with Chiron, because there's just not space. I've just done so many aspects and transits in the calendar and to fit them on one page. But I have mentioned them here, and I don't normally, but with three of them at once, all within that short time, I think something could come up to do with our long-term illnesses or injuries, or those inner child wounds, that sense of shame, sense of belonging, what we carry throughout our lives. And if you want to know more about Chiron, I've done a whole video about it with my astrology teacher Ksenia, and another video just with myself, and I will link those in the description. And then on the 10th or 11th of January, which is the Saturday or Sunday, we get to the last quarter moon. You will see that when you look up in the sky and you see the moon as an exact half moon. It looks like a half moon, but we call it the quarter moon. And that is a really time to finish things off and get going with completing things that you started this lunar month. Get through your to-do list, and the energy of that moon will help you with that. Well, that is a roundup of the aspects and transits that are happening on this very interesting week with those conjunctions, and then that opposition with Jupiter is basically all about that. So go well for the week, everybody, and look out for my video tomorrow where I go into more depth and an all signs breakdown about the conjunctions and the opposition to Jupiter. Please like, comment, or subscribe if you like this video to support my channel to grow. I am just a small YouTuber, as you will see in my stats. And if you are from Australia or New Zealand, Aotearoa, please go to Sun and Moon Calendar to order your 2026 copy of the calendar, packed with information. Bye for now.